Good evening and welcome to our today's episode. Today we focus on land purchasing and the types of land when you are buying. For many times we have encountered questions of many clients complaining about the dragging of documents or title upon buying the land. Today we want to actually inform you that there are three main status of land before you buying, and each status of the land has a different process that is involved when you're buying the land. The first one is transfer. Transfer is the most easiest land purchasing process because this one already has a title and the seller is transferring the whole piece of land to the buyer. This one only involves the search, the payment, and the transfer of the title, and of course the signing of the consent. It is easier, but depends with the amount of money the buyer has. It's most easier when the buyer is buying the land and paying at once. All the transfers are done, consent is signed, and the transfer of the title is done at a go. The second thing is that it's much faster. You can even do it within a week and you're done. You have the documents depending with the availability of funds and availability of the documents from the seller. Sometimes when you compare the land that has already titled comparing to others, you'll find it's a bit expensive because everything has already been done comparing to others. That's why you'll find it is a bit expensive because the seller assumes that you already did for you all the other processes. Now let's look at the second type of land that you can buy actually. This is called subdivision. The land is under subdivision. This means the land has a title deed, but the seller doesn't want to sell that to dispose of the whole land as in the first one. In the first category, you are buying the whole land, so it's just a matter of transfer. But for the second one, if for example the seller has 1 acre, he's only interested to sell half of it. In this case, he will do a subdivision of the whole land. He will subdivide and have two titles. The main title now producing two titles, and this one will take a little bit longer than the first process, but is almost also similar. It's a bit easier. Sometimes also a little bit expensive compared to the last one that we are going to talk about. This one is a bit easier. Also, if you have the funds ready, the work is a bit much faster compared to others. The last one is the succession. Succession is a little bit tricky and it scares most people because it's a bit tedious. The succession requires succession is actually where the title exists but is on the name of a deceased person, and therefore it must be transferred to an appointed administrator. It could be a she or a him. So all the beneficiaries, all the family members will now have to rely on the administrator to make sure that it's succeeded and transferred from the deceased to the administrator, and then now officially subdivided and distributed to the beneficiaries or all the family members. The reason why succession is a bit difficult because it involves all the family members. They must be there, they must agree to all the processes that are happening here. You must have to get them, take them to the chief or the village elder or whatever to sign that we are agreeing to the following processes, subdivision, whatever, the transfer. So therefore, sometimes this one takes a little bit longer and it needs total cooperation of the entire family for it to go forward. That's why it scares many people. And if you are not careful, you might go even up to 20 years without a title because of the incapacity of a family. They don't have the money to process, or the non-cooperation of the family. Therefore, sometimes it really needs, if you want to buy land with a family that's still holding the land under succession, needs patience, needs some money, needs a team leader to bring all these people together, to rally them together, to help all of you so that at least the process becomes easier. Thank you for today, and we shall keep on looking into your questions to see if we can answer a few of them. You can still continue asking or sending us the questions so that we see where we can help, where we can make the work easier on your side. But for us, we can always advise the best land you can ever buy is transfer, one that already has a title, or subdivision if the seller is cooperating. If it's for succession, make sure the family does not have wrangles. They have an amicable agreement to proceed with the process. That one will become easier. Thank you. I'm Victor Nangwe for CAREBS.